He's 91 tomorrow. He fought the Chinese, he fought the Koreans, he fought the Vietnamese, and he is one of the world's oldest living Rangers. It's coming up next, live here on Max World.
Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here.
Let's get it started in here.
Welcome to The View from a Pew, a conversation among Christians who are out to grow their faith by asking the simple questions, the tough questions, and the stuff you really wish your pastor would talk about. Come on now, let's reason together. It's your voice we want to hear. The phone lines are open, so join the conversation. Call 855-244-0077. That's 855-244-0077. Now, here's your host, J. Michael McCoy.
All right, good afternoon. It's the 24th day of September in the Lord's year 2013. I'm J. Michael McCoy, and this is the Tuesday edition of Max World Live here on 99.3 KTIA, powered worldwide by the webcast1live.com. Tom Coates in the house today, and you are about to hear a treat. I'm going to introduce you to Lester B. Cook, who tomorrow will be 91 years old, and I think the guy's got more muster and gumption than I do, and he's 40 years older than I am. 91 years old tomorrow, Lester. Happy birthday tomorrow. Are you going to do anything special to celebrate it?
Oh, yeah, we're going to IHOP for lunch, for supper.
Are you really?
Yep.
And what are you going to do at IHOP?
Eat whatever they got on the menu.
Well, I thought you said after supper, though.
No, that's for supper.
Oh, for supper.
Yeah.
All right. And do you have anything favorite you like at IHOP?
Nope.
No, anything.
Just anything.
Anything.
Anything that don't bite me back first.
Okay. All right. Now, you're still married?
Yes.
To the same woman you've always been married to? How long you been married?
Only 40 years.
Only 40 years?
Yeah.
Well, you were a late bloomer.
Yeah.
You didn't get married till you were 50 years old.
That is correct.
And why was that?
Didn't have time.
Hadn't found the right girls, the right answer in case she's listening.
Didn't have time.
Didn't have time.
No, I was busy in the Army.
And you have been either active or retired in the Army since 1930?
No, I started in 1939.
39.
Got out in 65.
Okay. And some of the places you were in China?
No.
No. You were in Korea?
Yeah.
Vietnam?
Yeah.
Italy?
Yeah.
Where else?
Sicily, North Africa, southern France, Germany. That's about it. And
Okay.
Japan, of course.
And where?
Japan.
Japan. All right.
In a hospital there, though.
What happened to you?
Got wounded
Where?
in Korea.
No, I mean, where on your body?
Oh, I got shot through the neck.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You don't show any signs of it.
Oh, there's a bullet hole right there and right there.
Is the bullet still in you?
Oh, no, it went on through.
Went on through.
Oh, there was nothing in between for it to stop.
And you got a big scar on your arm where you said a German tried to get you with a bayonet.
Yeah, that was over in Italy.
Yeah, okay. And what happened to him?
Well, I had a Tommy gun with 20 rounds, and I broke him with a habit.
Shot him in the chin, and that was it.
No.
The last one was in the
Starting
chin.
just about waist high, and the 20th one hit him in the chin.
Oh, so you just kind of split him in half.
Yep.
All right. And so well, of course, you wouldn't know his name. So, all right.
Broke him of the habit.
Broke him of the habit. Yeah. And for those of you who are on Facebook, I've got a picture of Lester when he was probably about, 16 when you joined the ranks? It's the picture on the other side there.
About 17 or 18.
17.
There's the
Korea.
There's the
That's
one.
the younger one.
All right, that's the younger one. That's one of the pictures I've got on the air.
That's right after North Africa.
North Africa.
That's when I made Buck Sergeant.
And what was North Africa back then? What was it called? Libya?
North Africa.
North Africa.
And we went into Arzu, North Africa. That's what it was called.
Okay.
And fought the French Foreign Legion there.
You fought the French Foreign
Yeah.
Legion, or you fought with the French?
Well, we fought the French Foreign Legion. We fought them at Fort de la Nord, and then we fought them again at the town of La Macta, another town of St. Cloud. And that's when we first experienced the French 75s. But we whipped them every time.
I didn't know we fought against.
Oh,
the French.
yes, we did.
I did not know
Vichy
that.
France had control of the French Foreign Legion.
I'll be darned. Okay.
And Darby's Rangers showed them what it was all about.
Now, Darby's Rangers.
That's correct.
Why do you call them Darby's?
Because he was a commanding officer.
Okay, your commanding officer was
William
General-
Orlando Darby.
Say that again.
William Orlando Darby.
All right, and is he still around?
Oh, he got killed the day before the war ended.
Oh,
He was at 10th Mountain at that time. But he lives at Fort Smith, Arkansas, where he was born and raised.
now you were born and raised here on the east side of
That is
Des Moines.
correct.
Okay, you're a Lincoln High School.
East High.
I just
gracious.
Hey, you're
I said
insulting him
something
again.
bad, didn't
yeah,
I?
you're
Yes, you
insulting him
did.
again.
So East High graduate
Right.
of what year?
Oh, no. I think it was 39.
39. Okay. And did you just absolutely want to go into the service? Was that your deal?
Well, a friend of mine said, hey, why don't you join the National Guard? And I said, what is it? And he said, I went down to one of his meetings. I said, hey, that sounds good.
Okay.
So I joined the National Guard. And then, of course, shortly thereafter, they drafted the National Guard, and we sent us down to Louisiana.
For boot camp.
Yeah,
Okay.
for training.
And you were how old at that time?
16.
All right. And how tall were you?
Oh, maybe 5'6" or something.
Yeah, because you're not a big fella. You're kind of like a little bulldog, aren't you?
Well, my wife says a little rat terrier.
And what do you? What'd you weigh then?
98 pounds when I got in the Army.
And what do you weigh now?
160. I'm still 165.
Are you okay? All right. And you have, and I hope this doesn't sound right, but you're perfect. I mean, you have all your faculties. You can see. You got hearing aids, but you hear real well. You walk all by your lonesome, right?
Right.
Do you run? You said, didn't you say Jack, that he runs?
I ride my bicycle.
Rides your bicycle.
40 miles a day.
Serious.
Yeah.
Two-wheeled?
Yeah.
40 miles?
Yes, and he rides with me sometimes.
Dick, who's in the lead? He is. Okay. Do you and your wife ever go out and ride bikes?
No.
No.
She's got a bad knee, so she don't get out. Besides that, she's a bookworm.
She likes to read.
Oh, you better believe it.
Okay. And are you a TV guy?
Oh, I'm somewhat a bookworm too.
Okay.
And a computer and some TV.
Okay. Do you do Facebook?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. Good. So how do people find you on Facebook?
I'm on the Ranger side.
So do you go to the Rangers, and then he's underneath there?
Oh, yeah.
You're going to have to get him his own Facebook page. He's going to have all these fans now from the radio show that's going to want to talk. And I've got a listener here by the name of Eleanor Hansen. She's an older gal. I think she's probably a couple 30 years your junior, but she says you're a handsome young man.
Well, I keep telling you that anyway.
Yeah, he did.
I'm trying to get you to believe it.
Yeah, what was your answer when I asked you what's the secret to living to 91 years old? You said what?
I don't remember. What did I
You
say?
said be handsome.
Okay, good looking, yes.
Good looking. So were you always the best looking guy in the group?
Well, absolutely. If you don't believe me, just ask me.
How did you stay single till you were 50 though? I mean, there must have been girls all over the east side of Des
Yeah,
Moines.
well, and when I was in my Class A uniform and go to town, I always carried a ball bat with me to beat the women off.
To beat the women on.
Yeah.
Okay. And so your wife was a pretty lucky gal to end up with you.
Oh, I was lucky to get her.
Oh, did you marry up?
Huh?
You married up?
Oh, yeah, you better believe.
Yeah. And how old is she?
She's 20 years younger than me.
Told you. Didn't I tell you?
Yeah.
And I didn't know that. So she's 71. 70. She'll be 71. And is she in good a shape as you are?
Oh, no, she's got one bad knee, that's all.
Okay, I remember. I heard that. Okay. All right. Lester B. Cook is our guest today. He was born in 1922. In 1939, he joined the United States Rangers and stayed an active Ranger until he was 65. Or I'm sorry, till 1965. Then after that, you went to work. What? You're shaking. I did it wrong, didn't I?
Yeah, Rangers from 1942 to 1944. That's when we got wiped out on the Anzio beachhead.
Okay.
And then I joined, would come back to the United States and joined the regular Army.
Oh, okay. And that you
And-
did till 65.
Then I went to the paratroopers.
Parrot, you mean you jumped out of planes?
Oh, yeah.
Perfectly good planes.
Now, who said it's good?
Well,
I might have knew something you didn't and jumped out anyway.
so how many, what, 2-3 times you've jumped out of a plane, I suppose?
374 static line jumps.
300, and I don't know what a static line is, sir.
So that's what you hook up to an anchor line cable in the aircraft, and when you go out the door, it automatically pulls your parachute for you.
Oh, so you didn't count like to 10 and then pull your ripcord?
No, you count to 4.
4.
Yeah, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, and
4,000.
it'll open on 4. If it don't, then you got your reserve on the front and you pull it.
And obviously, 374 times, one of those 2 worked.
Yes, but one time the one didn't.
The back one?
Yeah.
When was that? Where was that?
Oh, that was down at Fort Bragg.
Okay.
And I had to pull my reserve. That's the only time I had to ever use it.
Did they ever find out what was wrong with you?
Yeah, it had what they call a cigarette roll. It's when the chute was packed, it was damp, and the nylon stuck together and wouldn't open.
Now, Tom, you're shaking your head like you know what he's talking about.
Well, it makes sense to me that could happen.
You know, I think you ought to do a consumer credit television commercial, and it's you jumping out of a plane,
Well,
but
that's-
it's really Lester.
That's what I suggested. That's the only time I ever drew a line when they came up with an idea for a TV commercial. We've done 40 over the
Yeah.
last 20 years, and was when they came up with an idea for me to jump out of an airplane. And I don't know what the line was, but I said, no, I won't do it. But I suggested before we got into the show that Lester could be my double. We got to the point, then Lester could do the jumping.
Do you think your wife would let you?
I doubt it.
Oh.
She wouldn't let me jump on my 70th.
Well, that was 21 years ago.
I know. But I love the woman, so I got to respect her wishes.
What do you love about her?
Everything.
She's perfect.
You better believe it.
She's perfect.
Perfect. Absolutely.
Love. You love her kisses.
You better believe it.
Good looking to look at.
Absolutely. And a great cook.
I was just going to ask you, what's your favorite dish she makes?
Beef or not beans.
Beans,
Yes. Great northern beans. I love them.
like baked beans.
All kinds.
Oh,
You just make beans and I'll eat them.
okay.
I love them.
Does she make any casseroles, or
Oh,
can she cook a
she's-
hamburger?
Oh, well, I do all the grilling outside.
Oh, okay. Are you?
And in the wintertime, of course, she does the cooking inside.
Yeah. And do you help with the dishes then?
No.
No. So you make her cook and clean?
Yeah.
Do you help with the housework?
No.
You don't do any vacuuming.
No.
Don't clean the toilets.
No.
You don't wash her hose or panties.
No.
Do you have animals?
No.
Okay. So she just basically waits on you hand and foot.
Yeah. But now, when she was working
Yeah.
and I was retired, why, she would work and half a day, and I'd do all that stuff while she was working.
Oh.
Now that she is retired, then I do the outside jobs.
Oh.
Mow the grass, clean everything good, and keep them
Well,
going
I
on the
figured
outside.
you lived in some high-rise condo.
Oh,
where you,
no,
with
no.
the rich folks, where you didn't have to do any of that.
Oh no, I got a nice little place to live and a nice lawnmower. He helps me keep it up, and I got a nice yard.
Do you?
Yeah.
You maintain it nice?
Oh yeah, a lot of squirrels, rabbits, birds. I got two bird bass.
Okay.
And I like to watch them.
Any squirrel feeders?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. How about hummingbirds?
yeah. I had one this year.
One. Did you scare him away?
What?
Did you scare him away?
Well, he must have seen me, and then he got scared.
All right, we're going to take our first break, and when we come back, we're going to hear some stories, some war stories, and we're lucky. Tom and I have been sitting here with Jack and Dick Branson and Lester B. Cook for the last hour, and we've heard some of these, but we're going to recount them and share with you. This is what life's all about, ladies and gentlemen. 91 years young, and he's just kicking everybody's behind in this building, loving the Lord and telling us stories about how he fought for this country so you could sit here and listen to this Freedom Talk. Today live on KTIA, Iowa.
If you choose to obey the power of sin, it leads to death. If you choose to obey obedience, it leads to righteousness.
Forgiveness is just the beginning of life in Christ. God wants us to live for Him now.
And because of Jesus Christ, the gospel was preached, and you and I are blessed today because of Abraham. Did you know that? We're blessed.
Experience Truth, 99.3 FM.
Yes, now your favorite programs on Webcast One Live can all be watched and listened to on any Android or Apple device. Your phone, tablet, or iPad. Yes, your favorite shows on Webcast One Live are available live or on podcast wherever you go. Let me introduce to you some of our great shows.
Shalom. Every week on Understanding the World with Rabbi David Kaufman, we'll talk about issues in the Middle East, issues related to the Jewish tradition and religious traditions in general, and keep you up to date on exactly what's going on around the world. You may know some of the story, but you haven't heard all of the story until you've heard it on Understanding the World with Rabbi David Kaufman and our special guests we have on every week.
Hi, I'm Doc. You listen to me every Tuesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on Doc and Lefty radio podcast program, where we discuss all the relevant topics of the day, including state, local, and national politics. My partner in crime, Lefty, often likes to have a little bit of conservative justice served upon him, so please turn in for the fireworks every week from 6 to 7 p.m. on Tuesdays at webcastonelive.com. Thank you.
So when you want to watch your favorite Webcast One program, remember, there's an app for that. You know, there's an app for that.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Get away from us, you mean old credit card. We don't have any more money. We're in trouble now. Save us! Help! Somebody save us! Somebody help! Help! Save us!
Hi, I'm Tom Coates from Consumer Credit of Des Moines. If your credit card's a little too animated, give us a call.
Hooray! We're saved! Consumer Credit! You're our hero!
We've got questions. You've got the answer. Join the conversation. It's your voice we want to hear. So call 855-244-0077. Now, here's J. Michael McCoy.
21 minutes after the hour on the 24th day of September in the Lord's year 2013. I'm J. Michael McCoy, and this is the Tuesday edition of Max World Live. Tom Coates in the house today, along with Dick and Jack Branson and our special guest. Tomorrow, 91 years old, Lester B. Cook, former boots-on-the-ground United States Ranger from 1942 to 1944, and then went on to be a full-time Army till 1965. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay. The commercial we just heard here a minute ago was for you. Mm-hmm. I got to tell you something hilarious. When you were over at my house a couple weeks ago, Coco kind of hung around you. My little brown, whatever that dog is, my wife's dog. Yeah. The other day, he's sitting on my couch, and that commercial come on, and he starts barking at the TV.
Is that right?
I've never seen him do that. I have never, in 3 years, seen him bark at the TV. So he must have known it was you.
I'll be darned.
All right, so you're a smooth-looking, talking, sauve 16-year-old. You join the Rangers, and you get trained by the British. Now, I don't understand American history so well. Why are you trained by the British?
Well, first we was over in Ireland, and they put out a call for Rangers. Well, I didn't know what it was, so I volunteered anyway. They sent us over to Scotland to be trained by the British commandos.
Okay.
Because Americans didn't ever have anything like that. So we were trained by, except I'll take that back. In our Revolutionary War, they had Rogers Rangers. That's where the name came from, actually, to begin with.
Okay.
But we were trained up in Scotland by the British Commandos. Number 6 Commando was the outfit that trained us, and they were good. They didn't like us, and we didn't like them.
Why didn't you like them?
Because they were British.
But they were your allies.
You can be allies, but you don't have to like them.
But they didn't do anything to make you not like them, did they?
Yeah, they were British.
All right, and you had some Scottish folks hanging around.
Oh, yeah.
And did you like them?
Oh, yeah, we liked Scotland.
So you liked the Scottish, but you didn't like the British.
Yeah.
And can you tell me why?
No.
Okay. Yeah, we're making sense right down the road here.
Right down the line.
So how did they train somebody in 1942 to be a ranger? I mean, what did you do? I know you told me you jumped out of an airplane.
No, that's later. We jumped out of airplanes.
Oh, okay.
We didn't do that. We were supposed to, but they didn't have time because the war was coming. Well, we done all the physical stuff on the ground. Then you start making mock raids, and the Limeys would shoot live ammunition at you. And they would get real close to you, like clip you in the ear, or you're paddling a boat, and they put bullet holes through the paddles. That's a few of the things I would train us so we'd know what we were doing.
With live ammo?
Absolutely.
Did they give you live ammo to shoot back?
We didn't have any ammo.
Oh, any ammo. Okay.
They wouldn't give us any.
All right. So after you got trained, then what did you do? How long was training?
About 4 or 5 months.
Okay.
Then we went to, when the war started in Africa, we loaded on the boats and away we went.
So you went on the ground in Africa?
Yep.
And what type of weapon did you carry?
To begin with, I had a BAR, which is a Browning automatic rifle.
All right. And earlier you were sharing with Tom, you remember the weight,
Oh, yeah.
Tell me about that BAR.
Model 19A2. Model 1818 A2, gas-operated, magazine-fed, shoulder-fired weapon, weighs 22 pounds and 7 ounces loaded, 21 pounds, 7 ounces unloaded, 750 round psychic rate of fire.
So how many rounds did you carry on your person as well as 20 rounds in the gun?
You had 6, so you had 12 magazines.
So you had 12 pounds on your body.
Yeah.
And 21, almost 22 pounds in the gun loaded.
Yeah.
Plus you had a pack.
Yeah.
I mean,
and a steel helmet.
I mean, you only weighed 100 pounds. We got 60 pounds worth of equipment there.
Yeah.
And it didn't bother you?
No.
And you got a good back today? No
problems? Absolutely.
All right. And so what did you go to Africa for? Help me. I'm a young guy. I'm only 40 years younger than you.
Fighting Rommel down in North Africa.
Rommel. Who Tom, help me.
He was an outstanding German commander down in that area.
Now, was this, just pardon my ignorance, was this part of Hitler's?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so you're fighting Hitler's Germans.
Yeah, Rommel was considered probably the best.
It's called the Desert Fox.
General.
Okay.
Yeah, the Desert Fox.
Yeah. And they went into North Africa to what? To take over North Africa?
Well, the Germans was already there. We went in to kick them out.
Okay.
And we went into Arzu, North Africa, and the Fort de la Nord, the French Foreign Legion was there. So we had to get them out of there. We had to whip them first before we got to the Germans.
But eventually, weren't the French Foreign Legion and us allies?
Yeah. After we had 3 different battles with them, and about 6 months after he was there, that was Vichy France had the French Foreign Legion, and they flipped over to our side.
And so did you like them then?
Well, we never seen them again.
Oh. They never fought beside you?
We only had 3 battles with the French Foreign Legion. Then we went on and fought the Italians and the Germans.
And the Italians and Germans were on the same side?
Yep.
In Italy?
No, in North Africa.
In North Africa. You're still in North Africa.
Yeah.
When do you leave North Africa?
After we whipped all of Rommel and took them all prisoner, and the African campaign was over.
For good?
Yep.
Okay.
It was done. Then we made the invasion of Sicily.
Okay.
And fought the Germans in there, too.
And you won there?
Yeah. Took us 38 days.
38 days to take over Italy.
We landed at Gela, Sicily, and we walked 38 days later, and we was over in Messina, Italy.
All right, now let me ask you a stupid question, ignorant question on my part. We see in these movies where these big people transports, there's probably a proper name for them, come up to the beach, and the big wall comes down, and you run out. Is that what you were on?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Only the smaller version of it. LCVP is what we had. They weren't them great big ones that they have a couple hundred people on. We had generally a squad or 2 squads on ours. It was called an LCVP.
All right. Now, how long did you have relationships with those men that were on those ships with you back in Italy in the 40s? Till they pass away?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So you guys would sit around and tell war stories.
Yeah. We could see who could lie the best.
Yeah. When Lester first walked in today, he said, "You won't know if I lie because there's nobody around to tell you any different." And that's probably true. So tell me about some of those men that are now past and gone, but you remember fighting with them.
Well, I had a good company commander, Les Canes, and he's the first guy I run into beside myself that was a ranger there in Ireland. And I had a platoon leader. His name was Lester also.
Okay.
Lester Henry. So there was 3 of us in one company, Lester Canes, Lester Henry, and Lester Cook. Company commander, platoon sergeant, and platoon leader.
Wow.
Yeah. So that made a good outfit by the name of Lester.
Bunch of good Lesters.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, what's the B stand for?
Bernard.
Bernard. So who were you named after?
My aunt, I was told that was her boyfriend.
Bernard.
Yeah, his name. So my mother went along with that.
Okay.
And they should have given me a number instead.
How long has your mom and dad been gone? Or are they still living?
No, about 25, 30 years.
So they lived to be in their late 80s, early 90s too?
70s.
70s, okay. And what do you credit for living such a long and healthy life? I mean, you ride a bike 40 hours or 40 miles a day, for heaven's sakes.
Yeah.
What do you credit that with?
I don't know.
I mean, do you drink?
Nope.
Smoke?
Nope.
Chew?
Nope.
Go the girls with do?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
But I used to do all of that, but I quit that 40 years ago.
40 years ago?
Yeah, I quit smoking, drinking, and raising the devil.
That's about the time you got married.
Yeah.
She settled you down?
Yeah.
Yeah? She wouldn't let you do that anymore?
Well, we put it this way. She said, if you want to marry me, you better quit it.
You better quit that stuff.
Yep.
Well, that's got to be a good reason why you're still bopping around at 91.
I can blame my wife. She's a good cook.
That's right. And it's those, what is it, those beans.
Absolutely.
Tom, I think you and I need to go over and have some of Lester's wife's beans.
Oh, boy, you ain't kidding. They're delicious.
If he looks this good at 91, we got to get some of them beans.
Something's got to be in those beans, yeah.
All right. So you come home from, you came home at some point and you were still in the Rangers? Because at some point you went to Korea.
The Rangers were done after the Anzio beachhead.
All right.
We got wiped out. There was only 97 left out of 1,500.
And where was this?
Anzio, Italy.
Italy.
Yeah.
All right. But you were in Korea.
Well, first I come back to the United States.
Okay.
And then I went to the paratroopers.
Oh.
Then when the Korean War was declared, I joined the Rakkasans, which was the name of the 187, and went to Korea with them.
All right. I want you to stop right there for a minute. And when we come back from our break, I want to pick it up at North Korea. All right. Or South Korea. Because that's got to still be interesting to you that here we are 50 years later and we're still messing around with 60 years later and we're still messing around with Korea.
Yep.
All right, we'll talk about that when we get back. My guest today is Lester B. Bernard Cook. Can I say Bernard or should I? Because you said B. I didn't know. Did anybody ever call you just LBC?
Oh, yeah, a lot of times.
A lot of times.
Most of the time they call me Sergeant.
Oh, okay, Sergeant.
And in the later years it was Sergeant Major Cook.
Sergeant Major Cook. What do you want me to call you?
Mr. Cook is fine.
Mr. Cook is fine. All right, Mr. Cook is in the house.
I'm a civilian,
and we will continue our conversation with him here in just a minute. Tom Coates in the house on this Tuesday afternoon, and just a little politicking here because we talk a little bit of politics. Your buddy Doug Gross. He's not very happy with Mr. King, is he? There was an article in the paper today. I don't know if you saw it.
Oh, yeah, and I've been listening to some discussion about it. Yeah, I think it would be good maybe next week get him on here and discuss that a little bit.
Because that is do you think that's because of we have a Republican primary for senator? Because King is not going to get challenged, is he? Probably not.
No. In fact, he predicted he wouldn't probably see a challenger until 16, I think was his comment.
And then I don't think he'll see a Republican challenger.
Well, I think the only way he thinks he can get beat is in a primary with a Republican challenger.
Oh.
I mean, Christy Vilsack spent a lot of money and butted her head, still got beat by 8 points over there. So she wasn't a very good candidate, but I think they put a lot of resources in. I don't think he can. Sure. The only way I think you'll take him out is a primary challenger.
Do you find King's rhetoric out of line for the mainline Republicans?
It's funny. I talked to one of my counselors just today, and I agree with most of Steve's views. I said it would be nice if he could tone down the rhetoric and quit giving some of the ammunition. The idea that the calves are as big as watermelons,
right,
and some of those types of things. But he is who he is, and but I don't disagree with the fundamental issues for the most part. The rhetoric's a little bit high.
It'd be good to get Doug on next week.
Yeah, I think it would be a good show.
About that. All right, we're going to come up against our next break. When we come back, Lester B. Cook goes into South Korea. I think probably scared the hell out of the North Koreans, just him coming in there. And then later, of course, Vietnam. Tomorrow, 91 years old, Sergeant Major Lester B. Cook, live here in Mac's World on KTIA, powered by WebcastOneLive.com.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
I'm Brian Leach, owner and general manager of Service Legends. I brought along a couple of the home comfort heroes.
Hi, I'm Tammy Wells.
I am Nick Wondershide.
I'm administrative manager.
I am the senior technician
from Service Legends.
It seems like every good thing, when you feel it to the bone that it's good, there's a lot of hard work put behind it. I don't think that you can fake it and have it turn out good.
If we seem like, okay, that's just weird, it's just a furnace, why would you believe so deeply in a furnace? It's not just that, we want to show the world that you can have good service.
Yeah, I mean, it's your home.
It's built into our daily trainings, it's built into our culture, that we're gonna do whatever it takes to have each client say they love us, period.
That's why we spend all the hours in the training that we do. And if we guarantee it's gonna be a good experience for you, or else it's free, what type of work do you think we're gonna do?
There is a guarantee.
Temperature selection guarantee, fixed right or it's free guarantee, comfort guarantee, best value guarantee. All of these guarantees hold us accountable to ensuring that we exceed your expectations. And if for whatever reason we fail and we can't make it right, we guarantee all of those guarantees with a 100% money back guarantee.
I mean, if you don't think that your technician can fix it right, are you gonna say that to a client? No.
You don't have to worry about having a technician come to your house.
We drug test, background check all of our team members. We put safe people in your home. Each and every one of our service techs, 400 hours a year in training.
You tell it the minute they walk in the door. They know what they're doing, they've done their homework, and they actually truly care about what you want.
Because at the end of the day, you're the person that makes sure I have a job.
They're gonna be listening. They're gonna wanna know what your challenges are. Then they're gonna come and give you options, and you get to choose.
If I'm there to help and I make it easy and painless, I did my job right that day.
Well, when it comes to your comfort, safety, and your family, you don't necessarily go buy the most expensive, but you get the most bang for your buck.
Oh, it's worth it, because there's a lot of people that will find a way to get it to work right now and then leave and then come back, charge you again, and the cycle just repeats itself. So when I'm out there looking at the furnace, I want to find why it failed today. How can we change the part today with something that you're not going to have to worry about? Is it worth changing the part today? I mean, you can put a lot of money into a furnace. I can fix parts all day. There's good job security in that for me, but is it the right thing for you?
I get a lot of the phone calls of after the technicians are there. They're just in awe. They're like, wow, you guys are great. I mean, I don't even know what to say. You guys are great. Everything you did was perfect. It was great.
Keep going, though. I like this.
Just give us a try. I'm going to take all the risk.
I've got the time to make this right. I've got the support to make it right.
Just check us out.
And if you don't see the value in what we do,
I mean, fixed right or it's free or 100% money back.
enough said.
We're the ones in the pew, not pulpit. Come on now, let's reason together. The phone lines are open, so call 855-244-0077. Now, here's J. Michael McCoy.
All right, 38 after, 22 before, top of the news, Salem Radio Network, and then Michael Mudloff, Pastor Michael Mudloff with True Blue. You and I are gonna have a private conversation in about 10 minutes about identity and what men like Lester B. Cook should teach us about being men in the 21st century. But I'll wait for that, and that'll just be between you and I here in a few minutes. Our last segment with Lester B. Cook, he will be 91 tomorrow, and you're going to celebrate at IHOP.
Correct.
All right. Which IHOP? Southside?
Oh, yeah, over on Southeast 14th.
You don't probably ever travel to the big mall, do you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, do you?
Oh, yeah, I travel all over the place.
Oh, bicycle or why?
No. I take wife and we go in the car.
And who drives?
I do.
That doesn't surprise me. All right, so you go to South Korea.
Yeah.
And tell me what you did there. Because you're not a ranger anymore. Now you're a paratrooper?
Yeah, and a Rakusan.
Who?
Rakusan.
Okay.
That's the nickname for the 187 RCT.
Okay, so what do you do in Korea?
Well, we start fighting a war.
Okay.
We went into Kimpo Air Force Base to begin with, and they told us we was going to jump. And they said, oh, you don't have to jump. The Marines have secured the airfield. So that's fine. The airplane starts to land, and I hear a noise, and I look above my head. There's a row of machine gun bullets coming through. The Marines had not secured the airfield. So we had to fight our way off the aircraft over the edge of the airfield, and that started our initial thing into Korea.
Okay. And when did you leave Korea?
53.
To go where?
Back to the States. Until
when?
Till 1965.
And where did you go then?
Oh, to the post office.
No, but
No. He's talking about your Vietnam experience. What year did you go over to Vietnam?
62.
And what was different about the Vietnam conflict other than any other? Because you're a man who's seen battles and war and boots on the ground as much as anybody. But you said earlier when the microphones were off that Vietnam felt different.
Yeah, I don't know exactly why, but it didn't seem right. We'll put it that way, to me.
Right that we were there?
No, it's the civilians running the war instead of letting the military men do it.
Okay, and where did that come from? Was that a Johnson thing?
Well, whoever's the man in charge, the president, it was his fault the way I look at it.
Yeah, Johnson and McNamara. You remember how they micromanaged that war?
Yeah, and McNamara, he wasn't a military guy, was he?
I don't know if he had any military experience.
But now remember, 62 was before Johnson all got into that Gulf bit.
Right.
Yeah.
See, we were down there under a different operation.
CIA, right?
Well, you said it, I didn't.
Okay. Wow. Okay. All right. And then when did it become officially, it was never a war, was it?
No.
It was always...
Neither was Korea.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was always a conflict.
Police action.
What do you think we got out of Vietnam?
I don't see where we got anything except a whole bunch of names on a wall.
Have you been to the Vietnam?
Yes.
All right. And how does it make you feel being a guy that fought in Italy and Germany and Africa and...
Well, it makes your hair stand up on the back of your neck, and you stop and think, that could have been me up there very easily.
Because it just wasn't run right.
That is correct.
Now, when you sit back, lady, you came back to the States in 65, completely retired from service, went to the post office. When you sit back in your easy chair, I would imagine you've got cable or dish or something. You're able to watch the different network newses and the cable channels.
Right.
And you see stuff like going on with Syria right now, or you see what happened in Iraq, or you see what happened in the first Iraq, or when Jimmy Carter and the Iranians took those 144 hostages. What do you think about that? I mean, you got to have opinions. It's got to make your blood boil.
It does, yeah. The way our people were treated, we should not have ever let it happen. Gone over there and kind of whipped them up a little bit.
I talked to a man yesterday who was in the first Iraq War, and he said what I've heard echoed so many times, that if Pappy Bush, is that what you call him, Pappy?
That's what I call him.
Would have let us finish that job, we would have never had Iraq in 2004. We would have never had 9/11. We would never have Syria right now.
Well, if they'd done the same thing back in Korea, we would have stopped it there, and then all this other stuff, without a doubt, wouldn't have happened.
What do you think is going to happen with North Korea now that Junior's in charge?
They're going to stay the way they are, because neither side can decide what's right and wrong. They got that DMZ.
Yeah.
And it'll be there till guys knows when.
You lived in an era when you were in the service when the first atomic bomb was used, the only time an atomic bomb was used. And now we have countries like Iraq and North Korea who are all claiming they are inches, moments, seconds away from having their own nuclear weapon. How does that make you feel?
Very, very trembly.
Yeah.
Because them people, as far as I'm concerned, don't care about you and I, just themselves, and they'd use it in a minute if they got it.
You don't think they realize it would be the annihilation of all mankind?
Nope. They're all for themselves.
But they'd be dead.
Well, they might be dead after a while, but they're going to win first, the way they look at it.
Yeah, but they won't win long term. So what's the best advice you could give to a scrapping young 17-year-old boy who says, I want to go over there and I want to fight the military. I want to get into the army. I want to go to war. I want to fight the Syrians. I want to fight Al-Qaeda. I want to fight the Iranians. And he looks at you and he says, what do you think? Give me some advice, Lester B. Cook.
I think you better go back to school.
Okay.
You don't... Well, you got to learn to fight, and if you learn it and learn it right, it's okay. But if not, you don't know how it's done, you better stay away from it. If you get good training, you can survive. I know, because I'm surviving.
Yeah, you said earlier when the microphones went off that one of the reasons you survived 35 years in military, boots on the ground, and now another 50 years is because you were trained well at 16 to 21 years old.
That's correct. By the best.
What are we doing wrong with our youth that we're not training them correctly nowadays?
Number one, they don't know what a compass and a map is. They've got to use all these electronic devices. If they lose their batteries, they're out there in someplace and wouldn't even find their way back home.
Okay, so we need to not rely on technology so much.
That is correct. Technology is fine, but go ahead and you learn the basics first. Because if you do run out of batteries, you can always fall back on a pencil and paper and get your job done.
And a good old-fashioned compass.
And a protractor.
Okay. And if you could, if you had the ear of Secretary of State right now, Mr. Kerry or Mr. Obama, what would you tell them to do with this mess in the Middle East?
Bring all of our troops home, cut off all foreign aid, and say, that's the end of it. And when you people get straightened out over there, why, we'll help you out again.
Because you don't think they know what they're doing either.
No, they don't.
Is this world gone to hell in a handbasket?
Correct. And look at the debt we're in because what we are doing for them people. And you give them money and they still kick you in the fanny.
I mean,
or stick a knife in your back.
At 91, you've really seen this country change, and it hasn't changed for the best, has it?
That is correct.
All right. Lester, I wish I could go to IHOP with you tomorrow. I hope
you're welcome.
Well, I understand, but I hope you and your bride have a good time.
I'll even let you pay.
I bet you would. And you come back anytime, all right?
All right.
All right, Tom, thanks for being here today.
Okay.
I appreciate it. Lester B. Cook, 91 years old tomorrow at IHOP on the South Side. If you see him, make sure you pay for his meal, for heaven's sakes. When we come back, let's talk a little bit about identity and what men like Lester B. Cook should be telling us about tomorrow, live here on KTIA, Iowa.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is One Live.
Drink, dance, party. Kitty's is the ultimate dance club in Des Moines. A huge dance floor with room to move, 3 bars to keep your drinks full, and kickin' DJs playing all your favorite dance music. At Kitty's, we've always got your birthday party planned with Birthday Fridays. That's right, when your birthday rolls around, there's only one place to go. Gather up your friends and head to Kitty's, where you drink free on the Friday of your birthday week. Find out more about Birthday Fridays at kittiesusa.com. Kitty's, all kinds of people, all kinds of music, all kinds of fun.
Drug and alcohol addiction slowly steals a person's identity, tearing away pieces of their life little by little until one day it seems like the hope of a happy future is gone and there's no chance of getting it back. Here at St. Gregory Retreat Centers, we can assure you that there is hope. Our unique approach to recovery begins with the understanding that the dysfunction and damage caused by addiction can be overcome, not just dealt with. Don't let another day go by. Call St. Gregory today.
If you choose to obey the power of sin, it leads to death. If you choose to obey obedience, it leads to righteousness.
Forgiveness is just the beginning of life in Christ. God wants us to live for Him now.
And because of Jesus Christ, the gospel was preached, and you and I are blessed today because of Abraham. Did you know that? We're blessed.
Experience Truth, 99.3 FM.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
We've got questions. You've got the answer. Join the conversation. It's your voice we want to hear. So call 855-244-0077. Now, here's J. Michael McCoy.
It's 10 before the top of the hour on this 24th day of September. And I'm just going to end this show today with a little private time between you and I. If you're listening on the radio, I would ask that maybe you clear some of the other things that are going on around you. I know that radio sometimes can become what we call wallpaper. And you are on, I'll give you an example. You're on your riding lawnmower and you got your headphones on and somebody asks you what you're doing. And you tell them you're mowing the grass. But what you're really doing is listening to the radio. And this is a moment I'd like you to just sit back and maybe take a breath and just think about some things. You know, I've lived a great life. And if the good Lord would choose that today is my last breath, then meeting Lester B. Cook was the icing on the cake. I got to spend almost an hour with him beforehand, and he was still packed full of energy when we were done. It's a 91-year-old man. 91. He walks on his own. He obviously has a crackerjack mind. Does wear some hearing aids, but what does that matter? Did you hear his love and compassion for his wife? Did you hear after 41 years of marriage, she's still the prettiest girl in the room? That her cooking is just spectacular? And she's what did he say, an apple to look at? See, it's men like Lester B. Cook that we should all want to be like. Because as Lester and I spoke at the end, this country's gone to heck in a handbasket. And I'm sorry I said the word hell on the radio. I got caught up in the moment. But see, these are the guys that I grew up with. These are the guys that used to sit at the shoeshine stand back in Beatrice, Nebraska in the 60s. And they'd come home, they'd come home from the Vietnam War or the Korean conflict. Or even guys like Lester, 45, 50 years old, talking about World War II. These are the guys that sat around the auto salvage yard where, as a kid, I would ride my bike home and I would take a cut and go across the train tracks. I'm sorry, I would go on the train tracks over the river, praying that I got across the train tracks in time before the train came, and I'd get off at the salvage yard and I'd sit and talk to men like Lester B. Cook. These were the guys that would come to our high school and our middle school with their crew cuts and svelte and their incredible stories of bravery. And for some reason, we took them for granted because we felt at that time automatic transmissions and coast-to-coast airplane flights and color TV with remotes, and this new thing called a phone, which not everybody had. And indoor plumbing, guys, I'm not that old. I'm 54, but I grew up in a community where my parents could drive me in a car to a section of our community where 1,000 people lived, and they didn't have indoor plumbing. They didn't have electricity enough to power a television if they had it. And this is where the Lester B. Cooks came from. They came from that America. They came from that time when we didn't know if we could survive. We still had fresh memories, perhaps not the people that fought the wars, but still fresh memories of a country less than 75 years earlier. Actually, it'd be 50 years earlier. That was divided by race, when brother against brother and father against brother and mother against daughter would fight. One side to secure one vision of America, the other to try to secure the other. And it took a great man like Abraham Lincoln, who paid the eventual highest price you could with his life, to bring this country back together and to win freedom, which America was founded on when the Pilgrims hit Plymouth Rock hundreds of years earlier. Freedom. Freedom from tyranny, freedom from being told what your God is and how you should glorify him, freedom from being robbed in the streets and beaten and women being raped. A freedom that your great-grandfather or your great-great-grandfather somehow never had in the palm of their hand or fought so you and I would have it and hold it so securely. In fact, we hold it so securely, we take it for granted. We feel we are now entitled to such freedom. We feel we are entitled to electricity and indoor plumbing and color television and satellite dishes and as many churches and fast food restaurants and automobiles that we want to take advantage of. It's guys like Lester B. Cook that make me shed a tear and get a clump in my throat when I look at my 13-year-old grandson, Lucas, and realize that he'll never know that type of sacrifice that was made so he could live in the 21st century with everything that he has. And it also brings a tear to my eye because I don't know if his child, my great-grandson, will ever know a free America. Will what's going on in the Middle East and Africa finally come to the shores of this great country, and things that happened in Boston and things that happened at the Navy shipyard in Washington and schools across this country and Fort Hood, those things will be a daily reminder that men like Lester B. Cook may have died and fought in vain. What do we do about it? Well, unfortunately, it comes down to that simple and significant privilege we have as Americans. Vote. It is truly time that we turned men and women into disciples for Christ and then got those folks to step up and volunteer to run this country. We need to put away the sins in the Sodom and Gomorrah that we live in and the mass genocide of abortion. We need to get this country straight and on the right. I don't care what the liberals say. I don't care what the atheists say. You have no rights in the eyes of my Creator. And in the end, the eyes of my Creator are the only ones that I want to adore. I love my job. I couldn't do it without you. And at the end of every show, I ask you to pray. Pray, I ask. I don't tell you what for. I suggest sometimes, but I just say pray. Today, pray harder. Pray longer. Pray to God, our Creator, that He brings us men like Lester B. Cook to fight and be a hero for the America that we, I'm afraid, are losing. In the name of our Son, Jesus.